In a world obsessed with easy fixes and quick solutions, I don't have one. So this video is going to be very different from what you usually see on YouTube these days. Not one solution that usually goes something like this. If you just do this, optimize that, you will achieve eternal salvation or weight loss. What I do have is a personal story, a lot of thoughts, and some patterns that I've noticed both in science and myself. But first, let's get this straight. Weight loss can be achieved in all sorts of ways. Remember that hiker who cut off his arm to free himself to escape? He lost a lot of weight, about an arm's worth. So today, let's aim a little bit higher, fat loss. That's what we're going to be talking about. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Pavel, an anthropologist turned YouTuber who shouldn't be dispensing fitness advice but does it anyway. You have been warned. So apparently I'm not allowed to just burn more calories by exercising more. Thank you, Herman Ponzer. The body adapts to increased physical activity by reducing energy spent on other functions, keeping total daily energy within a narrow limit, a narrow range, rather than increasing endlessly with more exercise. So a marathon runner and you are going to have the same daily expenditure. After that metabolism video, a bunch of you ask, okay, smartass, so what do we do if we actually want to lose fat? Which is a fair question, one to which I don't have the exact answer, and the answer I have and I'm going to give today is not going to be the same for everyone. And it's certainly not going to please everyone either. Leave your hate comments below. So it's time for a personal story. After 40, my father died, and I had some weight creep on. I wasn't obese, but it wasn't like it was lean body mass either. It was something else, and I did not like it. It was almost 5 kilograms more than my usual weight at the time. I don't know. It seems like I have the skinny fat predisposition, and yes, skinny fat is a thing. It's called normal weight obesity. You have the right weight, but you have too much fat and not enough muscle and have most of the health risk of being obese. If that's you, congrats. But now that you know, do something about it, okay? Eating less was very, very uncomfortable for me, and exercising more was worthless as a fat loss tool, except that I didn't know that at the time. The lesson from that stage of my life is that fat loss is difficult, but not impossible. I mean, people have done it before, right? Stranger things have happened. I eventually discovered fasting. I know, it sounds a bit daft. How can I discover something that has been a cornerstone of every religion since time immemorial? Exactly, but in the world which is stocked up with food everywhere you look, in the Western world for sure, it's easy to forget about the famines and the religious commandments from the past. So the first fast and fat loss sort of happened without thinking too much about it. I just got sick and I didn't feel like eating for a couple of days, and I bet that my body kept the metabolism up by mounting a massive immune response to whatever was infecting me. Then I caught on to the fact that why not? If shocking the system by giving it an ice bath is good, why wouldn't you temporarily cut off calories to do the same thing? And folks, temporarily is the key word here. People go to such extremes about everything these days. A friend of mine, Mario, berated me more than once for ever wanting to broach the subject of fasting on this channel. What if someone dies from not eating? That's what he said. And I don't know, people die from eating all the time and nobody complains about it. Well, hopefully, folks, you have some common sense. And please use it. And whatever you do, don't blame an anthropologist turned YouTuber. Intermittent fasting is the darling of CEOs and people bent on hyping themselves and their mental toughness on social media. It became somewhat of a fad, a religion without a religion, until Saint Atia came along and said that, damn, you lose so much lean body mass that is hard to build back up again. So, what the heck is an average guy supposed to think about this? Well, I'm going to address the loss of the lean body mass argument in a moment, but let me just first tell you about my experience with intermittent fasting. I did it once a week to begin with, and I try to do it more than 16 hours. Basically, having a late breakfast and then skipping breakfast entirely were my first steps. Eventually, I went longer. The first day, I went more than 20 hours. I remember this day to this day, and I'll probably remember it until I die. I also remember what I had for the first meal after that and how everything tasted. Fantastic. Why did I do it to begin with? I was looking for different ways to shock my system out of the rut I found myself in. My father died, my girlfriend left me, and my PhD advisor showed his true psycho colors. Qu'est-ce que c'est? That's when you prey on someone vulnerable, like me at the time, from a position of absolute power. I was trying to, well, threaten my system with extinction so that it would start living. So here is what I felt and noticed. That's the thing about fasting. Maybe let's just call it not eating for a while. The taste of everything afterwards is fantastic and refreshed. It's like having your whole tasting system somehow rebooted. There is also the mental clarity that comes with it, and I attest to that. The theory goes that a hungry animal needs to get smarter to find food. And there is ample evidence that fasting positively impacts the brain. Anecdotally, a friend of mine who heard about what I was doing tried it too and said his mind felt sharper when solving complex pre-interview questions. People turn intermittent fasting into a religion they practice every day, but I can't think of anything more boring. I used to do it once a week, and then years later I tried 36 hours. And one day I just didn't eat and held out for 4 days. Besides mental clarity, all sorts of skin problems that plagued me for months have disappeared. Another thing you start to notice is how much of our eating habits are just that. Habits. There is no need to eat, so if you don't feel like it, don't do it. It makes you a bit of a social pariah for sure, but people worth hanging out with won't make a fuss or try to force you to eat because they eat. They say society is about 3 meals away from chaos, and I have a different perspective on that after not eating for more than 3 days. It really does change your relationship with food. It also made me less hesitant to go on trips. If I totally mess up the planning, I know I can survive. I might be cranky as hell, but I'll survive. It did mess with my sleep a little, especially on the second and third night. And there is a high too, to think about, a feverish high. It's a strange feeling, a kind of a rush. Now, where I'm now with this, I don't do it once a week anymore. I just don't think about it. I know it's something I can do, so sometimes I skip breakfast and then I skip lunch and then I just have dinner. So it happens, but I don't make an appointment with myself to do it. When I don't feel like eating, I don't. And when my body feels like eating again, I eat. And it turns out that my body feels like doing a longer fast once every 5 or 6 months. But there is no forcing, no calendars, and no schedules on my part because I can't imagine doing it on prescribed dates. It's just too scary. And on the wrong date, I'd probably eat someone out of hunger if I tried to fast against the way of what my body was telling me. So for me, intermittent fasting, cold exposure, and breath work were all part of a trial and error strategy for survival during a very difficult time. When I felt stuck and I was in a kind of a physical and intellectual decline from stress. And all those things helped. But what helped the most was dropping out of the PhD program and moving half the world away. So here are the key advantages of intermittent fasting. You might eat less if you have less time to do it. And for some people, it might be easier than tracking every bite and fussing over the calories. It's less of what the Brits would call faffing. Not eating for a while can also help your body handle food better, insulin and all of that, and especially if you've got extra weight to lose. Disadvantages, besides the obvious, you will faint or you'll die from not eating, like my friend Mario says. If you go too hard and too long, your body will pull a Poncer. That is, It will cut down on other functions to save energy, and even though you're fasting, you will not lose weight. It can also backfire, because if you're gonna fast all day and gorge all night, you can still end up in the opposite direction of what you want. And also, not eating doesn't fix anything if you're still eating junk the rest of the time. And this is a very important point. It really depends on what kind of food you eat when you do eat. Like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel extend its reach. And hit the bell so you actually know when a new video comes out. Otherwise, your little rectangle of doom is going to serve you a never-ending stream of bleakness about politics and the state of the world in general. And that will only get you a layer of visceral fat around your organs and raise your blood pressure. Choose to be brainwashed by me instead. Side effects may include muscle preservation, moderate insights, and the urge to slow jog. Paid by Sendyka Fit over 40. Okay, that may not be as funny as I thought. By the way, next episode is the season finale. So, if you have burning questions about the show and its secret island location, now is the time to ask. Obviously, that one has been asked. I'll answer it. I mean, if you have any other questions. Ask anywhere you like. Comments, and I bet the great YouTubey would love that. Email or the Google form my editor swears by. But he's not over 40, so I don't fully trust him on that. The link to the form is in the description below. After the grand finale, I'll shift gears for a while to deliver the rest of the course to my Buy Me a Coffee members. The truth about fitness is hiding in plain sight on this channel, often buried in videos the YouTube algorithm didn't love, but you can still find it. Or you can show a little support and join us behind the Buy Me a Coffee gates. You'll get a course built on all this, structured, supportive, sane, and with a clear path. More importantly, you'll be benevolently supporting me and my quest, so more videos get made and more people wake up to the fact that fitness is easier than industry wants them to believe. Now I'm going to address the lean body mass loss question. I'm not really convinced about the whole lean body mass loss panic. I mean, it depends on what you do and how you do it, for how long you're doing it, and whether you're one of those guys who nurse their muscles and obsess about gains. I'm not that guy. I don't do extremes, well, except for 10 to 20 seconds at a time during isometrics or sprints. I don't obsess about my lean body mass, and again, this is my personal experience. So yeah, on my 4-day fast, I lost about 4 kilograms. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But here's the thing, the devil is in the details. And those are the kind of details nobody likes to talk about. Because nobody likes to talk about poop. Because if you're staying hydrated, you keep pooping, and once you stop fasting, you're going to rebuild your internal ballast stores. From what I saw, the real weight loss was about 2 kilograms. Now, of the actual 2 kilogram loss, was it all lean body mass? Highly unlikely. Most of it probably came from fat, because after the fast I could see blood vessels under my skin where they weren't visible before. But here's the question. Should we even be that afraid of losing lean mass? Is your body going to really eat the best meat it can find to fuel your hunger rage? I don't think so. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. Imagine this. You own a mansion in the mountains. You didn't plan your autumn escapade very well, and you got snowed in for the winter. And now you need to keep the place warm. Inside, you've got your Louis XVI antique furniture, some broken junk in the attic, and a shed full of firewood. What are you going to throw into the fireplace first? Are you seriously going to toss 18th century heirlooms in before touching the busted chair or the stack of dry logs? Do you really think your body is dumb enough to do that? It's going to start with the cheap fuel first, the expendables. That might be glycogen, a bit of fat, sick and malfunctioning cells which had been marked for demolition but were somehow forgotten in all that oversupply of nutrients most of us flood our bodies with. Some people say that if you're doing some tiny bit of resistance training, like maybe 90 seconds of isometrics that Bruce Lee did, or 180 seconds that I do, maybe you'll be sending a signal, these parts right here, don't touch. I still need this. But my fasts are short. And personally, I stop all these high intensity activities that draw from glycogen and make you hungry, or in my case, hangry. I don't do sprints or isometrics when I'm on a fast, but I do hike. So no, I'm not panicked about lean body mass loss on a short fast. The body's smarter than Saint Atia and others give it credit for. In fact, I find the whole fat loss and body weight thing kind of mysterious, because back in my stress-heavy PhD days, I weighed more or less what I do now. But now I look more athletic. I've got more muscle. Meatheads, shut up. I've got more muscle and it actually shows. People who knew me then and see me now, they all say that. I look more muscular, athletic, stronger. So what happened? I don't know exactly, but maybe the visceral fat was how my advisor was slowly trying to kill me. So if your body isn't dumb, and short-term fasting doesn't automatically burn through your precious muscle, then the real question left to answer based on Ponce's paradoxical findings is, what actually helps you lose fat? Deficit, yes, caloric deficit, of course I mean, but with enough protein. You're asking your body to make cuts, so you want it to keep the good stuff. Resistance training, not gym heroics, for sending a signal to keep the muscle, possibly. Think Bruce Lee or me, and not Hulk. Keep the metabolism up with something low intensity, like slow jogging. On fasting days, I hike. Move more, it will come in handy on the days you're not fasting too. Food takes up more of your day than you realize. Once you stop eating, you'll probably be bored. Use that time for something. Sleep, rest, recover. This is where a lot of the magic happens. And get rid of your PhD advisor. I mean, reduce stress. Because cortisol, the stress hormone, it tells your body things are tough, better stash some fuel. Problem is, this tends to stash it around your organs. That's the visceral fat, the kind that will try to kill you in your sleep. Adjust and monitor. Your body is the vessel. You are the captain. And you're on an exploration adventure. Learn how to steer it. Finally, I want to talk to you about a metric that you should use in fitness and in fasting, in anything. It's quite simple. If you look like crap and feel like crap, you feel like crap. If you look great but feel like crap, you feel like crap. There were people before you chasing the same thing. Some of them died, and I talk about it in a bunch of my other videos. That's the metric. Looks are for suckers. But if you feel great, you probably look okay, and in time you will look great. That's the truth. And I want to leave you with a warning. This is serious. Fasting is something you should consult your doctor about. He knows your body's condition, hopefully. And if you decide to do it, slowly build up to longer fasts by first delaying, then maybe skipping breakfast. Don't be that guy who never fasted for longer than he slept and now heard from this YouTuber that he did a 4-day fast and is going to attempt it. Please don't do that. Now, adopt what is useful, reject what is useless, and add that which is specifically your own. That's Bruce Lee, and I keep repeating this quote often because that's what you need to do. Why? A lot of things about fitness on YouTube are just nonsense. So this video could be nonsense for you. But that's why this video is different. And that's why Guru Sendyka is different. Because I admit the possibility that this could be nonsense. And if you've been wondering how to sneak more movement into your day, check out my Ditch the Chair video. It's about walking while working. Yes, walking while working. It's free, it's smart, because yes, I'm brilliant. That's French for brilliant. But if you're sticking with a sitting setup for now, the Muista fidget chair is also a solid upgrade. There is a link and a code in the description. Use it and you'll get a discount and I'll get a kickback. Everybody wins. It rocks, literally. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next time. Bye!